At 56, Owen Wilson's story is one of success shadowed by tragedy, a heartbreaking journey that fans never fully saw behind his bright smile and laid-back charm. Known for his sharp wit, offbeat humor, and unique voice, Owen carved out a career that made him one of Hollywood's most recognizable stars. From Wedding Crashers to Zoolander to heartfelt performances in Marley Me and Midnight in Paris, he became a household name. But beneath the laughter, Owen's life has been marked by struggles with mental health, broken relationships, and the crushing weight of fame. Today, at an age when many expect him to be enjoying the fruits of his career, his battles tell a much darker story. The tragedy of Owen Wilson is not just about Hollywood, it's about the painful reality that even those who make us laugh the hardest often carry the heaviest burdens. Born in Dallas, Texas, in 1968, Owen Wilson grew up far from the glitz of Hollywood. The middle of three brothers, Luke and Andrew, he came from a close-knit family with deep creative roots. His father, an advertising executive, and his mother, a photographer, nurtured a love of storytelling in their children. But Owen wasn't the perfect student. He struggled in school and was even expelled at one point, setting him on an unexpected path. Fate changed when he met filmmaker Wes Anderson at the University of Texas, a friendship that would shape the course of his career. Together, they wrote Bottle Rocket, a quirky independent film that caught the attention of Hollywood. Owen was suddenly propelled from a struggling Texan into an emerging talent, but the road ahead would be far more complicated than he imagined. By the late 1990s and early 2000s, Owen Wilson had become Hollywood's golden boy. His collaborations with Wes Anderson in films like Rushmore and The Royal Tenenbaums showed his talent as both a writer and actor. Meanwhile, his roles in mainstream comedies like Meet the Parents and Zoolander made him a box office draw. With his shaggy blonde hair, unmistakable voice, and ability to balance humor with vulnerability, Owen had a charm that felt effortless. He wasn't just another actor, he was a personality that audiences connected with. But fame is a double-edged sword, and while the world saw a carefree star living the dream, Owen was quietly battling the immense pressure of expectations. Hollywood adored him, but beneath the surface, cracks were already beginning to show. Owen's rise came with fame, fortune, and endless opportunities, but also with an unbearable weight. He became a constant presence in tabloids, linked to high-profile romances and often portrayed as the quintessential bachelor. Hollywood demanded his time, his energy, and his image, often leaving little space for Owen himself. Friends have said he struggled with the invasive nature of fame, a burden that left him feeling isolated despite being surrounded by fans and colleagues. The expectation to always be funny, always be Owen Wilson, created a mask that became harder to maintain. Behind the camera-ready smile was a man wrestling with insecurities, mental exhaustion, and a sense that his life was spinning out of his control. For Owen, success was both a blessing and a trap, one that slowly tightened around him. The darkest chapter of Owen Wilson's life came in 2007, when he faced a highly publicized mental health crisis. Reports revealed that Owen had been rushed to the hospital after a suicide attempt at his Santa Monica home, an incident that shocked fans worldwide. The man who brought joy to millions had been silently suffering to a degree few could have imagined. The event forced him to step away from several projects, including the film Tropic Thunder, and sparked a media frenzy that left Owen exposed and vulnerable. Friends like Ben Stiller and family members rallied around him, but the scars of that moment never truly faded. It was a turning point that reminded the world that behind the laughter, Owen's pain was very real, and it would continue to haunt him for years to come. After his 2007 crisis, Owen Wilson sought to rebuild his life quietly. He leaned heavily on his family, particularly his brothers Luke and Andrew, who provided him with unconditional support. Therapy, time away from the spotlight, and a focus on personal well-being became his priority. Owen gradually returned to acting, taking on roles that balanced comedy and drama, such as Marley Me and Midnight in Paris. Audiences welcomed him back with open arms, but insiders knew the journey wasn't easy. Hollywood may have moved on quickly, but Owen carried the weight of his struggles privately. His attempt to heal was ongoing, marked by ups and downs, and while he projected stability on screen, those close to him knew he was still walking a fragile path between recovery and relapse. One of the brightest spots in Owen Wilson's life came with fatherhood. Over the years, he welcomed 3 children with different partners, Robert, Finn, and Lila. Fatherhood gave Owen a renewed sense of purpose and joy, grounding him in a way fame never could. Friends have said that despite his struggles, Owen lights up when talking about his children, and he works hard to be present in their lives. Yet even this happiness has not been without difficulty. Reports of strained relationships with his children's mothers have surfaced, with some alleging he has struggled with consistency as a parent. These complexities add another layer to his story, a man who wants to do right by his children but finds himself caught between personal struggles and the responsibilities of fatherhood. In the 2010s and beyond, Owen Wilson experienced something of a career revival. He proved he could do more than comedy, with dramatic turns that earned critical praise. Films like Midnight in Paris, which earned him a Golden Globe nomination, showcased his depth and sensitivity. Later, his role in Wonder highlighted his ability to portray warmth and compassion. Even his move into the Marvel Universe with Disney's Loki showed that Owen still had the ability to surprise audiences. But for all the accolades, Owen's career revival was bittersweet. He still kept a low profile outside of work, avoiding Hollywood parties and interviews whenever possible. His performances reminded fans of his talent, but they also underscored how much he had withdrawn from the world that once adored him. Even as his career flourished, Owen Wilson became increasingly reclusive. He rarely gave interviews, avoided red carpets, and chose a quiet life in Malibu away from the spotlight. Those who know him describe him as warm but guarded, wary of letting too many people into his private world. Fame, once a gateway to opportunity, had become a wall between him and the life he longed for. While fans laughed at his comedies and admired his dramatic work, Owen often seemed detached from the Hollywood machine, showing up for films but disappearing again once the cameras stopped rolling. For someone who once seemed so accessible, the growing isolation was telling. It revealed a man still grappling with fame's consequences and still searching for the peace that eluded him for decades. As Owen enters his late 50s, fans have grown increasingly concerned about his health. Years of mental health battles have taken a visible toll, and while he continues to work, the strain is sometimes evident. Though he keeps much of his personal health private, friends and insiders hint that the pressures of Hollywood have left lasting scars. His energy is not what it once was, and maintaining balance has become a daily effort. At 56, Owen stands at a crossroads, a man with immense talent who has endured some of life's heaviest burdens. While his career remains respected, the tragedy lies in the knowledge that fame robbed him of the carefree existence he once seemed to embody. For fans, watching him age under such weight feels profoundly heartbreaking. Despite his struggles, Owen Wilson's legacy remains one of laughter and connection. His characters, quirky, lovable, and sometimes deeply flawed, have touched millions of lives. From making audiences cry in Marley and Me to making them laugh in Wedding Crashers, Owen gave the world pieces of himself in every role. His impact goes beyond the box office. He represents resilience in the face of hardship, proof that even the most broken moments can be followed by redemption. The tragedy of his story does not erase his contributions, it deepens them, reminding us that joy and pain often live side by side. His legacy is not just in the films he made but in the reminder that behind every comedian's smile is a story we may never fully understand. Through all of Owen Wilson's ups and downs, one constant has been the love of his fans. They have rallied around him during his darkest times, offering messages of hope and gratitude. Social media often floods with tributes whenever he resurfaces in a new film or interview. Fans see in Owen a piece of themselves, someone who struggles, stumbles, but keeps moving forward. His vulnerability, whether intentional or not, has made him one of Hollywood's most relatable stars. While many actors guard their personal lives, Owen's hardships have been public, and fans have responded with compassion rather than judgment. In their eyes, his tragedy is not a weakness but a testament to his humanity. This support is perhaps his greatest source of strength as he continues his journey. At 56, the tragedy of Owen Wilson is beyond heartbreaking because it reveals the gap between perception and reality. To the world, he is the lovable comedian, the charming star who never takes life too seriously. But behind that image is a man who has faced darkness, loneliness, and the crushing weight of fame. His story is a reminder that success does not guarantee happiness, and that even those who seem to have it all may be fighting invisible battles. As Owen steps into the later years of his life, fans can only hope he finds the peace and stability he has long deserved. His legacy will always shine, but the true story of Owen Wilson is not just about laughter, it's about survival. And that, in the end, is both heartbreaking and profoundly human.